Welcome, everybody, to an escalating series of bad decisions. This week, what we're going to do on Full Force is try to do a 5-color deck. Because we're kind of curious. I'm kind of curious. Is it possible to do a 5-color deck and have it be good in this format? I mean, the answer is no, but is it possible? So we're going to try and do whatever we can to get a 5-color deck going. We're going to need a lot of Renegade maps. We're looking for probably a lot of artifacts to keep our mana requirements down a little bit. And things like Unbridled Growth. We're probably going to want to be a base green deck because there is some fixing in green in Kaladesh as well. Like Tune with Aether, Wild Wanderer, things like that. Spire of Industry has multiple upsides here. A, it's worth a little bit of money. And also, it will fix our mana. So if we're going to go 5 colors... Spire of Industry does seem to be the way to go. The advantage we're hoping is that we can pick up all of the most powerful things, as with most 5-color decks. So we'll get a lot of removal and a lot of very powerful creatures. We miss out on some of the synergies of the format a little bit, I'm going to guess, but I haven't done this, so who knows? This is all very new territory. We've got to figure something out from the bottom up. There's no fixing here. But I want to try and stay inside of green if possible, like we said. Unbridled Growth is going to be a big card for us. So if there's good green cards, I probably want to be taking those over like good cards in other colors. If there's any kind of tiebreakers. Greenbelt Rampager is okay, but not amazing. Skyship Plunderer is very good. I'm thinking that I might just take the Greenbelt. It's either that. Shielded Aether Thief is actually really good here for us as well because it'll block for a really long time, and if we're going to be 5 colors, it's very likely that we're going to be a slower deck. So we're going to want things that can block well for us, grind the game down. I think I can keep Greenbelt for now, hope to wheel the Shielded Aether Thief. It does come back a fair bit, so I think that that's fine. The energy from this will work with the Shielded Aether Thief too, which is pretty nice. And there's an Unbridled Growth, and I think... Ooh, or Renegade Map, even better. Unbridled Growth could actually wheel. Renegade Map is very good. It's just awesome in a lot of different decks, so there's going to be a ton of decks that'll want it. Later on, once I get some fixing, I would probably take a Daring Demolition here, just because it's the best card in the pack, and that's going to be the goal of this deck, is to play all the best cards that we can find. So we'll take the map and see what else we can get. Alright, this pack is not so great. We have some artifacts. None of them are particularly great. Iron Tread Crusher and Mobile Garrison are not my favorite vehicles. Implement of Malice is really good. I've been impressed with all of the implements. Maybe the exception of the white implement. It's not particularly good, but just being able to cycle them is solid, and you always want a lot of artifacts, so they do fill up roles for you. Aether Stream Leopard is okay, works with the energy for green belts. So I could take either one of those. I don't think that I want either of these black cards. Foundry Hornet is pretty good, but not insane or anything, so I'm not super excited about it. I'd almost just rather have this. Drawing extra cards is really important if we're going to be this deck, because we need to be able to see all of our colors of mana. And it also helps to have more artifacts for Spire of Industry. Now, what do we have? We have Fenhauler, which I like quite a bit. I've been impressed with Fenhauler. And Improvise is something we'll probably be trying to use, because I'm going to get a lot of artifacts. Just have, like... Ideally, I think the way to build this deck is to have probably about, like, 2 or 3 cards at maximum in any one color. Maybe a little bit more green because of the fixing. But for a lot of the colors, we probably don't want more than 2 cards. Maybe a couple of implements, things like that, but I'm going to try to stay away from cards that I can't play without specific colors of mana as much as possible, which means we're going to get a lot of artifacts, which means Improvise is good. Fenhauler was fine. Now we get... Dawnfeather Eagle is very powerful. Probably not worth the white yet, though. Aether Herder is okay. It's another energy card. It does make artifacts, which is kind of nice. There's just nothing that's really stand out. I'd love to take, like, Caught in the Brights as a white card instead. Something like that. Dawnfeather Eagle is good, but I just don't think it's going to fit in the deck as well. We're going to be able to get a lot of finishers that are big in other colors. And, I mean, a flyer is good, but it's not insane. And I don't think we're going to be making, like, swarms of little tokens. Maybe I'm wrong. It is a lot better than Aether Herder. I guess I can just take it. Because Aether Herder is really just not that good of a card. There's Crackdown Construct, Universal Solvent. I didn't like Universal Solvent at first, and I still don't love it. But I'm coming around to it a little bit. I did manage one game on stream to have Scrap Trawler and rebuy Universal Solvent, I think 5 times in a single game. So every once in a while it has its purpose. You need to be a very, very slow deck to make it matter. And generally you're going to be able to pick one up, so I'm not super worried about it here. I don't want 2 Dawn Feather Eagles. Night Market card's not amazing, but it is colorless and it's a creature, so I'm alright with that. Pima Aetherseer is cool, and Hidden Stockpile is very powerful. We did want to be in all the colors to take the most powerful cards. Hidden Stockpile definitely does that, and it has the big advantage of scrying for us, which will help us fix the other colors. So if we can get white-black down, we should be able to scry to everything else that we need. It's really, really hard to underestimate how much like scry and draw is going to pay off in this deck, because we just need to get all the different colors. And also, we're hoping that our card quality is higher than a lot of other people's, because we're just going to take the best cards. And let's just take Hidden Herbalists. I don't think we want Implement a Combustion. Not super excited about Herbalists either, but there's nothing better to take. Here, Hinterland Drake is okay. Decommission is good too. Probably not playing this as one of the blue cards, so I might just take a Decommission here. Decommission's always good in the sideboard, at least. Another Night Market card, a High Spire Infusion, Verdant Automaton. Nothing great. It's unlikely that I'll actually use Automaton. It's such a slow card. It can be okay if you have a bunch of snakes, but it's about the only way to get it really going. And I don't think double Night Market card is a good idea. Guess that it's better to just have one of each rather than 2 Night Markets. Kind of my reasoning there. Dispersal Technician, that can be okay, and I don't like Aegis Automaton in this deck. Consulate Turret or Conviction, neither which matters. Take the Consulate Turret, I guess. So far we're Abzan. I mean, I suppose I could try and play Dispersal Technician. I don't think the card's particularly good. There's a lot of artifacts, but nothing that is so like, you're not going to get so many artifacts this card is insane or anything. And this pack is pretty good. There are a lot of awesome cards. I love Vengeful Rebel. Vengeful Rebel is a very powerful card. However, get the feeling that I'm going to want to Tezzeret. Fixes mana, happens to be blue, so it gets another color for us. Very powerful card, obviously, and we're going to be trying to play a lot of artifacts. Sad that we didn't get back that Unbridled Growth, and I'm really sad that we're passing another Renegade map, because I need that fixing. And another artifact would be very good with Tezzeret, too. But Tez kind of fills into all the roles. It does color fixing, it's powerful, it gives us artifacts, which we're going to need. Like, it just does everything. So Tezzeret is a perfect pickup. Let's see what we get in the next pack. There's not a whole lot to talk about when you just open a Tezzeret. Winding Constrictor. Very good card. Also something that works with very specific other cards. It'll work with the energy from Greenbelt Rampager, but that's really it so far. I mean, it's fine. Just gotta think about what else we want. Wouldn't mind a red card eventually, but these are all not what we want. I want to take red for, like, Welding Sparks, Hungry Flames, removal type cards. Maybe like a Shock. Lightning Runners, just double red, too tough to cast. And honestly, not even that great. Renegade Wheelsmith is awesome, but not really in line with what we're trying to do. I might just take another Implement here. I need more artifacts still. I only have 3. And Implements are always pretty decent, so I'll just take one of those. Really easy to think that it could be the Winding Constrictor. Sure, I don't have the cards for it yet, but it's possible to get them. Well, there's a Hungry Flames, so that's a little bit of removal that I could use. Like right now we're green-black, splash a little bit of white, a little bit of blue, and a little bit of red. And that's kind of perfect for where we want to be. Hopefully get back maybe Foundry Assembler. Prey Upon's not coming back, I don't think. I would like it, but it's not going to come back. I only get second Fen Hauler is good. Nothing too insane to take out of that pack on the wheel. So we've got the Hungry Flames, and now what do we do? Death Dismissal. I mean, it's a good card, but not super relevant to us. It's only okay. I don't really want a whole lot of white. We've already got some good black cards. We have some decent green. Well, actually, our green's pretty bad. I don't want Aether Herder. I really want to be green because I know that that's where we're going to get some mana fixing. Because right now our mana's awful. We have Renegade Map Inspire. That's not good enough for this many colors. We definitely need a lot more. And that may be where this deck falls on its face. Take the Aether Herder. Tezzeret's Touch. Good with a lot of artifacts, which it looks like we're trying to get. There's also the Chandra's Revolution, which is very powerful. I've come to really like the Chandra's Revolution. I've been blown out by it too many times. There's a certain number of times when this gets cast where it basically acts like Time Walk and kill your creature, which is very powerful. Doesn't always do that, but man, when it's on, it's so good. Maverick Thopterist, another blue card. Oh man, our mana is getting really dicey, but Maverick Thopterist is the most powerful card. We can be super greedy, or we can take Mobile Garrison. Kind of want maximum greed here. And we're going to desperately hope to pick up more fixing. Deadeye Harpooner's good. Defiant Salvager's good. I think I want the Salvager. Just, it looks like white is the color that I'm going to try and be a little bit less of right now, because I don't have as many powerful cards in that color. And I need to try and rein in our mana here a little bit, because I don't have the fixing for this yet. Watchful Automaton. That could actually be okay. The Scry is important, like I said, for all the fixing. Resourceful Returns, not terrible, I guess. Same with Rebuke. I think I want the Automaton, though. Mobile Garrison, Hinterland. Bastion Inventor is good. The problem is the actual amount of artifacts that we have. Plus, it's blue. We only have two blue cards. So, I mean, I guess I could cut some more green. Certainly possible. Mobile Garrison's just so medium. Take the Inventor. I didn't want to be light on the green, but we just might end up that direction. We don't have any good green cards yet, is the problem. Red's really open. Ice Over is reasonable. It's not great, but I don't have a ton of removal yet. Hungry Flames, Chandra's Revolution. Not super fantastic. This deck right now is a hot mess. It's all over the place. We're going to try and pull that together in this last pack. We need a lot of Prophetic Prisms and maybe like a Servant of the Conduit. I'd love... Wild Wanderer would be okay. Really just want Prophetic Prism. I think that's the #1 card that we want. We've got some powerful cards. Now we just need to actually be able to cast them. Currently, we can't. Casting Tezzeret into, like, Maverick Thopterist or something with an Aether Herder is going to be not good. Okay, so we have no mana fixing. We do have a Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot, which I'm starting to like more and more. More artifacts are better. It's a little bit of a draw spell. It's in black, which is one of our main colors here. Just has a lot of synergies in the format. We have 2 improvised cards, 3 improvised cards that are really important. Might just take the Oval Chase, though. Oval Chase is a lot more powerful on the face of it. Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot is what makes cards like Oval Chase powerful, though. I'll take the Oval Chase, and these still tend to come back. I'm going to hope that we can get one. And please give me fixing. Nope. Good white cards. Really good white cards. There's also Fleet Wheel Cruiser, which is kind of a bomb, so I'm just going to take that. Be pretty happy. It's colorless, too, which is a huge upside right now. Need more colorless cards. Prophetic Prism. Prophetic Prism. Please, we need a Prophetic Prism. I feel like somebody else is trying to be a fair number of colors, because, I mean, I guess the Renegade map not wheeling isn't much of a sign, but Unbridled Growth tends to go pretty late, and that one didn't wheel on us. It was only like second pick or something, too, so if it goes that early, that could be a big problem for us. Okay, we said that we are going to take the most powerful cards from every pack, and Angel of Invention is definitely the most powerful card in this pack. That being said, double white, 5-drop, I can't really justify that. It's way too expensive and way too hard to cast. Our deck is already pretty slow. I think that I just need to take Wild Wanderer here. Like, that mana fixing is also pretty important. I'd love that Angel of Invention, though. It's way too insane to do it. Narnum Cobra. Alright, that's another green card, kind of, and it's also colorless. Also a 2-drop, which is very important right now. I didn't pick up nearly as many implements as I wanted either. Implements, I think, are pretty important to this style of deck. We need to get a lot of early artifacts and power out our Improvise. Just draw extra cards from the implements, too. Try and get all of our colors online. Tezzret's Ambition's pretty awful. Skyskiff could be okay, but I don't have a lot of creatures to crew vehicles with. I think it just might be Cogworker's Puzzle Knot. Sure, it needs white to activate, but I can still use it to improvise in the meantime. And I will be playing some number of planes, 1 or 2, so it can eventually be cracked. It's not the worst idea to just have an extra artifact here. Ooh, Contraband Kingpin's pretty cool, especially with all of our artifacts. Imperial Voyager is pretty awesome, but I think that the Kingpin's a little better. And it's more in our colors. Wild Wanderer is the only green card we're playing right now. So green just might not be a thing we're able to do. I mean, I'd like to do it, but we just haven't seen the cards. There's Foundry Inspector, Fireforger's Puzzle Knot, and Thriving Rhino. Rhino's a really good green card, but really not worth the splash. Foundry Inspector is totally worth it for us. Another colorless card makes so much of our deck cheaper, both from Improvise and just from its own ability. And obviously everything gets so much easier to cast when they're just colorless. Let's take the Bastion Mastodon. Something that, again, I can definitely use the white at some point. We're going to play Hidden Stockpile for sure. And I'm probably playing this Cogworker's Puzzle Knot too. Ooh, Metal Spinners came back. Very good. That I like to see. Contraband Kingpin's looking pretty powerful in our deck. I keep saying pretty today. Everything's very pretty. Very nice and beautiful. Like this deck. This deck is, it's very pretty. It's a masterwork. It's a nice little rainbow. I mean, it's actually kind of awful, but hey, we'll make it work. We'll see how many rounds we can win with this. This is going to be a full draft league, so we are going to get to play all 3 rounds, whether we win or lose, which will be either fun or a horrible, excruciating, painful torment, and I really don't know which yet. Maybe a bit of both. Maybe some for our opponent, maybe some for us. Little column A, little column B. Oof. That's a good sign. No foreshadowing in that name. No dubious challenges here. So, take out the Wild Wanderer. I'd love to play it as 5-color, and that's kind of the stipulation, but I did what I could to take green, and it just didn't materialize. It makes our mana a lot better to only be 4-color. I would absolutely play any really powerful green card, but we have none. There's nothing here that's interesting. Wild Wanderer is fixing, but I had to play an off-color to fix, which is just exactly the opposite of what you want to do. It'll actually make our mana worse to play a mana fixer. That's not something that we need. So I guess that this is just where we're at. And this is 23 cards, so I should just be able to add lands and make this into a pile of cards that we will call a deck. Sort it by color. Definitely looks like we're mainly black. 6, 5, 3. Renegade map helps a little bit. I could go down to 16. Most of the time I go down to 16 if I have Renegade map. In this deck, I don't think that's a good idea. We've got mana sinks for one. We've got the scry from like Watchful Automatons. We have things like Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot that we'll want to use so that we can draw extra cards. And same with like Implement of Malice or Implement of Examination. So we've got a few extra card draw things. We've got some expensive cards, like our curve's a little bit high. We've got Hidden Stockpile to use a bunch of mana on. It doesn't make sense for us to go really low when we need this many colors. So I'm okay just running 17, even with the Renegade map. Now, we have 1 white, 2 white, 3, 4. 4 seems like it might be too much. I think that I can go down to 1. Because we don't actually have to use Cogworker's Puzzle Knot or Bastion Mastodon. And I can just consider it an advantage later in the game when I do get a white. We have 5 islands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue cards. Might be able to go down on that, too. And 6. Black sources are a little bit more dicey. 7, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 3 red sources, 4, 5 red sources, and 3 red cards. You know, this actually all kind of seems okay. Not great, but okay. Oh, I almost want a green for Narnum Cobra, don't I? I have Spire of Industry. I guess we'll just have to deal with Spire of Industry being our green source. So there we go. We are 5 colors. I do want to play Narnum Cobra. It's too bad that we don't have a more reliable way to actually activate it, but putting in a forest seems questionable. The big thing about having another blue is I might want it for a Contraband Kingpin early, because that card seems very important to us. It smooths out our draws a lot. Same with Hidden Stockpile. You know, I might just go back to where we were. Hidden Stockpile early is kind of important. Contraband Kingpin's fine. Yeah, alright. This is a deck. Luckily, there's a lot of colorless early on, so that's going to be a little bit helpful. I can still run, like, even if I get, say, Plains Island, I can still go, like, Cogworker's Puzzle Knot into Foundry Inspector into Fleet Wheel. They don't have to have blue, black, and red mana. And that's a perfectly acceptable, you know, series of plays or something, so not a bad place to be considering what we're trying to do here. Oh, man. All right. I will see everybody for round 1, and give me all of your energy. I'm going to need it to win this. This is soon to be a 3-0 deck. I need you to believe. Oval Chase plus Hidden Stockpile is really silly. Oh, wow. Speaking of silly. So do I just kill Outland Boar? I only have 2, so not enough. I guess right now it's... What's the best way to do this?